Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. I wanted to jump on and do a video about my hair today actually. Do excuse the fact I've got no makeup on. I just had a treatment and did a video about it, so I can't wear any for a couple of days and I wanted to make this video. So I had very, very thin hair. But I will caveat that we're saying I had very, very thick hair when I was young. So when I was young, I had incredibly thick hair that even the hairdressers would say, oh my gosh, it's hard to work with because it's so thick, which is quite tragic that I then ended up with basically no hair. And I had a whole catalogue of disasters with my hair through my life where I was bleaching it. And since I was really young, since I was about 17 years old, I would heavily bleach my hair. At times I went white blonde and then I would go dark again and then back to white blonde, and I was doing it with packet dyes, so I was really destroying my hair. And then on top of that, I then decided I had a bad cut at some point and got into the hair extension loop from a very young age. I was probably one of the first people to have hair extensions. Not the first, but I was in the first wave of hair extension users. I think it was back when only really posh spice had them. And they were bonded and they were glue and they were the only ones that were available. So I had these glue bonds, and then at some point they ruined your hair anyway. And then at some point I left them in way too long. And I got some hairdressers who didn't know what they were doing, because hardly anyone did in those times, back in those days. And I ended up with pretty much no hair because I'd left them in too long. They were all like matted at the top and they were tugging at these things. And honestly, my whole ponytail was kind of like this and it was so depressing. So then I went and got them again because I was like, I can't stand it. And at least I then went into micro rings. So I had them out for various times. And about a year and a half ago now, I was just like, I want to get my own hair back. I know a lot of people say, oh, you might not. I probably had a mixture of over bleaching, the ends snapping off, and alopecia, like tension alopecia from hair extensions. And they do say you have more chance of getting it back if your hair was at one point thick. So I went into it with positive expectations, right? And I will add as well that, this is a youthifying channel, but I'm very into subliminals and affirmations. So I have played some hair regrowth and thick hair affirmations and subliminals. I try to kind of now stop going on about how thin my hair is and I try to affirm that it's thick. You may not believe in that. I believe in that stuff, so I do it. But more onto the physical side, what have I done? So I also decided to start having some hair scalp injections. Now you might look at my hair and think it's not that thick, but if you saw how thin it actually was, and I don't know, maybe I'll try and look back and find a video of when I first got my hair extensions out about a year and a half ago. It was very, very thin, very thin, like especially it was just wispy, and I was holding on to it because I love long hair and I just refused to have it sort of cut to where I probably needed to have it cut. It's still not the thickest, but it's so much better. And I can tell you what, that at the top, I can already feel how much thicker it is. And something that really lets me know that I'm having a turnaround is you can still see that that side is relatively kind of bald, right? But this side was also the same. And actually, I don't know if you can see it now, but that has all filled in. So that whole section was pretty much bald at one point, probably because at the front, it was always worse at the front. And I think that's because hair extensions pull that very fragile hair. It's still a bit like there's less fill in on that side, but it's way better than it was. Like, honestly, this whole chunk here was pretty much bald. So I've had a lot of fill in at the top and I've got a lot of hope. I don't even hate, so I now, the way my hair is now, I find it acceptable. I would still like it to be thicker, but I'm not miserable about it. Whereas before I was actually miserable about how thin my hair is. So I already could cope at this level. So I feel like I've got enough back that I'm happy-ish. And yeah, I have been taking biotin. I don't take it daily. I've got loads of supplements and I do try to take them, but I've been taking it relatively regularly. I was raw vegan for a long time, and I will say that I've added eggs back into my diet because hair growth is about protein, and just for various reasons I've added like eggs that I think are from responsible sources back into my diet. And I do try and take as much Irish sea moss as I can. Irish sea moss is very good for hair growth and for skin. So they're kind of the more edible things that I've been taking. I do take other things for my skin as well, but I think they're the particular ones for hair growth. And then I've had 4 sessions of scalp injections over about 2 years, and they haven't been done. So if you did them, you could probably have more results than me, because I get all mine done at a college. I think I've said that on every video. It's all really, really cheap, but you can't be as routine with it and you can't be as specific. You basically take what's available and when it's available. So I can't be like, oh, I'm going to do it every, once a month, for example. I just have to jump on it when I see it. But I did do 2 scalp mesos a month apart. But then before that, I did this thing called Dr. CYJ hair filler, and I did that a few months before. And then a few months before that, or probably about a year before that, I did a PRP scalp as well. And this CYJ hair filler is an injectable peptide-based treatment, and you are meant to basically have 4 sessions of these things. And I've mixed and matched and probably not done them as frequently as I should have. So like I said, you might have better results, but from doing what I've done, I have still noticed a massive difference. Like I said, that was completely all bald, all the way kind of back to here, loads of filling now, and even more on this side. There's so many baby hairs that you can see that have come back there and that weren't there before. And just generally everything feels so much fuller. When I feel the top, I'm like, oh, feels so much thicker. There still is bleach damage to the bottom because I had a really bad balayage, can't pronounce that has been fixed now, and I think it looks quite nice now. But it was really overly blonde and fried, so all this bit was snapping off, so we can't really include this bit. But I think plus all the hair scalp injections haven't had a chance to grow out really, but I think down to here I really do notice a significant difference. I also do some red light as well. I have a red light face mask, and every now and again I just put it on my scalp. I'm not religious with it. I just do it every now and again. And I think that's mostly it, because the thing with hair loss is it comes from 2 sides on women. You want to recover, well, if you've damaged your scalp like I have, you've got to get more blood flow into the scalp and you've got to sort your scalp out. But then also you've got to stop it from snapping off. So there's, like, for men, obviously it's different because it doesn't really get that long. Well, unless a man has long hair, right? But anyone who has long hair, let's not say man or woman, but if you've got long hair, you've also got that aspect that you want it to grow without snapping off. Obviously, bleach and anything that dries it like that is not helpful. Like when they over bleach this bottom bit and it was really blonde and I would brush it, I would literally see every time I brushed it, I'd have broken off hairs on my knees. That obviously isn't a good sign. So the reason that your hair doesn't grow is, yeah, A, the scalp, but B, or is it snapping off when it's getting to a certain length, right? And that is about trying to condition it. I've been trying to kind of reduce the amount of dye, and so it's not like really, really harsh bleaching chemicals on my hair, and I've gone a lot darker. But I really, really feel like the scalp injections have had such a massive difference. I would say I felt more difference from the mesotherapy ones, but that could also just be because I had 2 within a month spacing, and they're the most recent ones I've had. So maybe the other things did help a little bit. Obviously, you're meant to just have one thing, but just because of the way the treatments come to me, I just take what I can. But I can say that I have noticed a big difference. I'm way happier with my hair now, and that's all I've got to say really. That's what I've been doing to try and get my hair back from just complete ruin, and at one point being so thin I wanted to cry all the time. So I hope that helps anybody that's struggling with hair loss and wants to try it. Let me know in the comments if you've tried any of these things and they've worked for you. All right, bye for now.